Just very good at that.
Hey everybody, it's now time for more of Shop Talk here on the Last Comic Shop podcast. Yay. If for those folks that may not know, this is a part of our show in which we get an opportunity to act or react more in real time. Like a lot of you may not know that most of our podcasts are recorded like weeks and weeks ahead of time. But sometimes we like to get together to talk about things that are happening that are more timely.
Like George tuning in.
Exactly. Like George popping on at just the right second.
From his bunker. From his bunker library.
Let's real quickly get to the opening credits and we'll be right back in just a quick second. So
we have opening credits?
Countdown to the Last Comic Shop in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
From Batman Returns.
Batman Returns.
My
there you
sister just
go.
got me this.
From Batman
my new
Returns.
favorite desk buddy. Yeah.
The Duckmobile.
All right, so we're back. I'm the host of the most, Andy Larson. I'm joined by my regular co-host, Chad Smith, as well as our wonderful friends. First from Shortbox Summary, George.
Eat shit, Mikey.
I can't. I don't have any teeth.
Coming out strong. Yikes.
And then, of course, bringing up our Fantastic Four for today, it's Mr. Mikey Wood. So thank you so much for both of you joining Chad and I to kind of talk a little bit about a variety of different comic book related topics. But first and foremost, for those folks that may or may not know, this week we released a Fantastic Four related episode of Last Comic Shop, still available out there on www.lastcomicshoppodcast.com, where you can hear our review of the first 48, 49, and 50 of the original Fantastic Four run. And then we talked about Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, George has been listening to this episode of the podcast like at least twice. I mean,
it's like my Zapruder film. Yeah.
Back and to the left.
Yeah,
Back and to the left.
Like I'm like going back and like studying every frame, not frame. Whatever the film, this audio equivalent is of a frame. Just being like,
that's right.
This, like on paper, this feels like the most Chad ass movie that I could think of. And like Chad was the most down on it. Like everyone gave it a solid 3 across the board. And like that's a really good review. I'm not like you guys all clearly enjoyed it more than you did not enjoy it. But like, man, I thought it was a Chad ass movie. I thought for sure it was an Andy ass movie.
It was fine. As I mentioned in my review, which again you can listen to, I think the biggest problem I had was I wanted a more bombastic thing. I thought
that's what your wife says too.
Yeah, no, I did though. I thought that the Ben Grimm that we got in the movie was, I don't know, he cooked. I like the fact that he read all the parenting books, but like he was just a cook guy and he didn't really want to yell or carry on. And I don't need that from my thing.
There is not a single revolting development.
It wasn't.
You know why? I'm sorry.
Okay,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Mike.
Because in the comics, the Thing says stuff that human beings don't actually say and would never actually say.
But nobody, like that.
Nobody says what a revolting predict. Nobody says that. Nobody has ever said that.
But that's the charming part of him. He's like that New Yorker that never existed, and that's fine with me. I'm okay with that.
He's Jewish. He should be more like I am not going to space. It is freezing out there.
Oi, Gewaltishman. Yeah, no,
that's
for sure.
ridiculous. If you think I'm going all the way up to space on a Tuesday night, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, needs to be more Larry David about things.
Right. Well, I just thought that Ben Grimm, he's the dynamic front man of the Fantastic Four. Mm-hmm. He's the guy that's like, oh, you're going to come here? You're going to kick our ass? Like, oh, no, like, we're going to kick your ass. And, like, I didn't get that. And I need that. I need that power from Ben Grimm. He's not the most powerful guy, but he is like the, like, Oh no, you're not gonna come around here and come to Earth and start
let me-
messing around with me. Like,
Let me channel my inner Chad. Plus, he had a beard. What the shit was that about?
He had a beard in the comics a few times,
a
like when he was
couple
in the-
times.
when he was
But
in the
Chad
It was a
Beard.
pasted on beard when he was Blackbeard. That's different.
No, he grew a beard. They run
Hmm.
into future. They run into Future Thing at some point, and he has a rock beard.
He
Why does
does.
regular thing have a beard?
I'm gonna find out.
It was
Wow.
it was during the Jonathan Hickman run. I do recall some issues.
Chad getting out marveled by Mikey of all people is pretty.
I do
hardcore
recall
stuff.
some issues of the Jonathan Hickman run. After you remember, Chad, when they introduced the fact that like Reed fixed him so they could turn back into Ben Grimm, but it was only like for like a day every year
Right.
or something like that.
Yeah.
And as a
Yep, yep, yep.
result of that, that was the only day that he aged. And I think there's some issue where they showed like what that would do to the thing long term, and so like millennial from that
It was
like he was still alive, and at that point he did have like one of those Methuselah beards.
That's
Where
cool though.
Cat-
Fucking,
That's like people born on leap day. You know, it's like
Yeah,
if that was like
it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Fantastic Four number 605 from 2012.
Yeah,
That's
but that's
fine.
not regular thing. That's bajillions of
And
years
then-
of the
oh,
future
wait.
thing.
And
it
then
is true.
Marvel Fanfare number 15 by Barry Windsor Smith as well.
Well-
Which I have but haven't read.
Well, don't you feel like an idiot now, Chad?
Chad does have a point though
So-
that he grew that beard very, very fast, like unnecessarily
Yep.
fast.
Yeah, because he's a real man's man. You know?
Yeah.
He didn't
I-
talk like a man's
Caramba.
man.
He doesn't have to get a fight. He doesn't have to wait 2 days for a 5 o'clock shadow. Like it's there
I-
at 5 o'clock. Like it's there.
I love that he was like the most normal, like well-rounded person
Yeah.
in the entire cast. Like he was less obsessive than Johnny. He was less compulsive than Reed. He was less. I don't want to say scattered for Sue because that sounds like a derogatory. Like just he had less on his plate than
Yeah.
Sue. So,
He
you know,
was
so
awesome in that movie.
Sue is pardon the pun, fantastic. Like
Mhm.
easily the best film representation we've ever had of that character. I loved it. I feel about it the way Chad feels about Superman, and like I really liked Superman, but like the more I think about it, I'm like, oh, this is like a DC Universe movie, less of a Superman movie.
See, that's the thing. I feel like the Fantastic Four movie, Dan slotted me. Where like
God, I hate it when you say that.
I
but-
don't know what that means.
Why don't you unpack that for me, Chad?
What does that mean? What has Dan Slott done?
so Dan Slott, a great writer as long as you don't give any shits about the characters. Right?
Oh.
If you're okay with somebody playing fast and loose with the Silver Surfer and turning him into Doctor Who, then you're gonna love Dan Slott Silver Surfer, which it's really good. It's Mike Allred art. It's Dawn, the new
Yeah.
character they
yeah,
introduced.
but
the
how,
love
how
interest
does
is
how
great.
does JA feel about Dan Slott Silver Surfer?
Hates it.
Yeah.
He wrote
That's your point,
Spider-Man
yeah.
for a decade, and I hate it. I hate it so much. There's so much about it is wrong. But if you're a casual fan of Spider-Man, you're like, oh, Dan Slott invented the Spider-Verse. Sure, but in the dumbest way possible. Thank goodness they didn't adapt those stories into the movies, or nobody would care about them.
Ah.
But he was a great idea guy. But if you really care about the character, I shouldn't even say really care about the characters. That infers something that I don't mean to infer. But like they're playing fast and loose with things, and like the Thing. My big issue with the Thing wasn't that they did the Thing poorly. I thought his appearance looked great, but I thought that they changed the Thing to meet the actor whenever the actor is supposed to change to be the Thing,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, I
Yeah.
like that. I do.
I
like
think he should have
that.
sounded a little bit more gravelier. Sorry for pun intended. My
But I did think that's why I felt for Natasha Lyonne because her gravelly voice.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
You complete me. Yeah.
it's funny you mentioned that because the Natasha Lyonne storyline is a great example of what my problem with the movie was. It felt like a quarter of it was chopped out. It felt very choppy. There were a lot of dangling, incomplete sort of threads. There were things that needed to breathe more. There were things I wanted to see more of. I felt like the whole Mole Man thing was like, it was like, oh wait, we got to show him because he's important later on in the movie. So let's show him as quickly as we can. And okay, and then he comes back, but like I wanted it to breathe more. It felt like they were cutting it down because fans bitch about the length of things. So they were like, well, let's make it short
Yeah.
and sweet instead of
We
a long
still want to
one.
make a good movie. But no, I'm excited to have George here because George is pumped about the Fantastic Four movie. And I want to do that jerkwad thing I do where I'm like, you liked it? Explain to me why you liked it. What am I missing that you liked it? 'Cause
I liked it.
All right,
George's
it's People's
opinion.
Court. Where's my gavel? Hold on here. George, you're on trial here. Evidently, you are. It's 12 Angry Chads, and
Yeah.
you have to convince the jury that we should pardon the Fantastic Four. Although again, 3 out of 4. Like I enjoyed.
Yeah, I
it.
liked it. Yeah.
It's fine. Should be better than fine. It should be fantastic. Anyway, George, it's the one day I was at the shop, like where I didn't do any work for like an hour. I just sat there texting you back and forth, like, here are all my
you did.
about
You
what
did
was
something I have never seen before. I was super hungover, so I sent Chad like in the group chat like the longest. Like I haven't sent that like. Even when I've had like breakups over text, like I didn't send a text message that long that I sent to Chad, Andy, and JA in our group chat. And then Chad did like the smartest and sweetest thing where he took my message and then broke it up and then put like a whole bunch of like underscores to like separate my thought from his response. So he responded to my giant novel ass text point by point, like responding to it like it was like a college thesis defense or something. Like it was honestly inspiring. I'm like, oh man, if I had friends who sent me these texts, 1, I wouldn't read them. 2, I'm going to respond to them like this if I do, and I'm going to read it in piecemeal and not holistically. I don't, for the record, in the most healthy, like, I really like you guys. You're some of my favorite people to talk about this stuff with. I don't give a shit if you like the movie or not. Like, I don't care.
No,
that's not like, it's
that's
not my
good.
job.
Yeah, it's not a
to be
personal thing. I just
Yeah,
wanted to
it's-
unlock what I'm missing. And your enthusiasm is something that I'm like, okay, how does he have that? Because we
For
saw the same
me,
movie.
For me, I just think it does like one of the better jobs of beginning, middle, end in one of these movies. I thought it did a really good job of evoking the feeling of like a mid-2000s comic book movie, which like I'm super nostalgic for, as anyone who's listened to my podcast has figured out. Look forward to a Bulletproof Monk episode coming to your ear holes very soon.
Shit.
I know. Did you know that was a
that-
comic?
is
Because
that
I
Chow
didn't
Yun-
until like
is that
3
Chow
weeks
Yun
ago.
Well, that's a
Fat?
adaptation.
It is,
That's one of those things where it's like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Where
Oh,
they took the title.
I'm 8 pages into the comic. I'm like, this isn't the same.
It's not the same thing.
Man,
at
like,
all.
what are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Did it come first though, or
yes,
which came?
It did, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm really excited to talk about it, especially because I'm having on my friend Amber, who loves movies but doesn't know a lot about comics, but she also loves Sean William Scott. So I'm very excited to have a much overdue Sean William Scott conversation on the pod.
Who doesn't
But,
love Sean William Scott?
But like watching that, just the idea, like this felt so self-contained in a way that I thought was really impressive, especially given the pressures that Marvel's been feeling lately about like their movies not being loved and like things having to matter. So it would be so easy to just stack on implications for this movie, and I didn't get that feeling. It felt like it had a first act, a second act, a third act. You guys are absolutely right that it feels like probably 12 to 16 minutes got cut from this movie. That
The
would've
whole
just
John Malkovich.
that would have added more moments that like really make it more personal, make it more, I guess, honorific of the comics is like what I'm really getting at. But like I thought they did a really good job of trimming the fat and just presenting a whole ass story from start to finish. And I love the optimism and like faith that they just had in their heroes. Like especially now, politically, the climate is so divisive where like it really does feel like every superhero, like Superman, where like we have to take this person down. And like that never really happened. It happened for 5 minutes when they came back being like, oh, Galactus wanted our baby. We said no.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, how could you sacrifice our world for your baby? And then she has that beautiful moment, which is like a chills moment for me, which is like my favorite part of any of these comic book movies, is when someone does something that I wouldn't think to do because they're better than me, and then they inspire me to be better because of it. You know, it's like the Tobey Maguire subway scene in Spider-Man 2, and then everyone's like, he's just a kid, he's no older than my son. You know, you want to
all
get
the
to
New
Spidey,
Yorkers,
you gotta go through me. Yeah, like,
But
that
like
shit
Tobey
is, like,
Maguire was actually 32. But
he fucking 42 maybe. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
like it was.
He always
Um,
looked old.
He was
But, like,
dating teenagers though, so let him go.
he was.
But like,
No, yeah.
yeah, that makes it okay. So, but like, that is the shit that I love from these movies, is like the examples that they set, that like even me as like a now 35-year-old, I'm just like, it still makes me feel like a kid again when you see someone just knock it out of the park like that. And Sue coming down and being like, I wasn't going to sacrifice my kid for this world, but I'm not going to sacrifice this world for my kid either. And just like, oh fuck yeah, you are really good at this. Like, you are
Mhm.
better, like you are the aspiration. And so like, I just like little things like that, I felt like it compounded on top of each other, and I just thought it was like a complete movie in a way that like Deadpool versus Wolverine was like fine. Like I thought it was fun, I enjoyed my time watching it, but like that movie was in service of other movies, and it felt like this movie especially was in service of itself. And
Yeah,
I
well-
even got service of other movies from Superman, but I really enjoyed Superman. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
dogging Superman, but this just felt complete in a way that I really appreciated. I'm sorry, Mikey.
No, I was going to say Deadpool versus Wolverine. That's okay. That was a 2-hour long Funny or Die skit. Is what that was.
1000%. Yeah.
It really was. I mean, it really was. That's all that was. It was just as many jokes and as many things to make fans go, "Oh, yeah."
No,
It was
well, that and
utterly
it had
fan-service.
interesting conversation points, right? Like them fighting
It was
in the
good
car.
though.
like,
yeah.
This
yeah.
is this movie's sex scene, and then like you
Mhm.
really get into like the psychoanalysis of like
Yeah.
that interpretation that like, oh, they pulled over in a car and just
Mhm.
fucked each other up. That was
Yeah.
them like literally fucking
Yeah,
each other.
yeah,
Like, oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
like an interesting take, you know.
My
And like you didn't get anything like that from this Fantastic Four, but like the earnestness and sincerity of it is something I
Yeah.
really appreciated. And that was Superman's earnestness and sincerity
Mhm.
handled super duper well. This is the first time I thought James Gunn might have too much James Gunned himself. And like I love
Mhm.
James Gunn. Like, I love the Guardians movies. I loved his Suicide Squad movie. And his previous works too. Like, I'm a big fan of James Gunn, but like it felt a little, I don't want to say too modern, because that's like a bullshit critique of something that like I don't even think it was too modern. But like there was one point where like all the monkeys were typing, where like I didn't think that was actually like about the current political climate, but I felt like that was like James Gunn being like, fuck you, this is what you guys did
Oh,
to
the
me.
whole movie is James
You know,
Gunn talking about himself. The whole movie
Yeah.
is about him.
But
Getting
it also
blacklisted.
works as like a current read on the
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
whole fuck billionaires angle, the whole internet trolls, poppy, like all this stuff. Like, it could be read one way, but like I read it like a literal way.
The thing with James Gunn is that James Gunn, I worry that he's going to do like the Wes Anderson thing, where his style becomes a shtick after a while. Like, after a while, it's people still love Wes Anderson, and that's cool if
Yeah.
you do.
No,
I
Phoenician Scheme rocked. Yeah, that was a great.
I
movie.
grew
Yeah.
I grew tired of it. It's like, oh, okay, it like looks the fucking same.
Yes.
all you know.
Yes, Chad.
telling the same joke.
But anyway, Chad.
Chad.
Well, no, so I was going to say the thing about James Gunn is, and I definitely can see the argument that someone say, oh, he over James Gunned this movie. He had the unenviable task of taking Superman and making him relatable
Relevant.
to modern audiences. Yeah. And so did he steer into the James Gunniness, quite a bit? Absolutely. And so but what the Fantastic Four did was the opposite. Instead of making things relevant for a modern audience, they're like, we're going to put this retro future sheen over everything, so it looks real cool. But then when it came time for the substance, I thought there was a heart to the James Gunn Superman. Like, that's the real punk rock that wasn't there.
Yeah.
And like, I wasn't feeling the connections with the characters. I wasn't feeling the Reed and Sue dynamic. I wasn't feeling the Reed and Ben friendship. And Johnny was just all off to me. Like, I will say Sue, I thought did a great job, but even with Sue, the look seemed off. Like, she didn't fit. She was too modern for the retro future aesthetic. Like, I don't know. Just everything was just a little bit askew. And I also know that the Fantastic Four movie suffered because of my elevated expectations.
Yeah.
Like I heap too much emphasis on that one where it's like, this has to be good or Marvel's in trouble. And
Sure.
now I'm just like, it was just fine and Marvel's in trouble.
My favorite comic book movie to fall asleep to always has been and probably always will be Batman Begins. Like
I was going
just
to say
think,
Green Lantern because I'd
like the
never
be-
made it through Green Lantern.
the beginning of man, I remember going to see Green Lantern in theaters, and like I remember just like reading like Newsarama every single day, just reading what Jeff Johns was saying about the movie and like how it's like doing everything right. And oh man, that
I
was
really
gross,
like it.
gross overstatement.
I like it.
I couldn't make
do.
it through it. I don't know whether it's good or bad because like
It
every
certainly
time
is a
I just-
movie.
I'm
I'll
out.
give you that. But like Batman Begins is always like my favorite one to fall asleep to, and like I didn't fall asleep to a comic book movie. Like just like I treat movies like white noise kind of deal. Like that's like me. The same thing as like me just putting like a record on or something to fall asleep to. And then like the Batman was the next one, but the Batman sucks because it's like the first 50 minutes are like a horrendous murder scene where like I feel like I might as well just be watching Forensic Files or something.
It's brutal. Yeah, you get the Foley, like the sounds, like the squishing and the
no, it's a hard thing to fall asleep to. But like Fantastic Four was the first movie since the Batman that I've really been like, oh shit, like this is going to be on rotation, like this, because it is a complete movie and like there's things to look forward to. Like 40 minutes in, like what they're dealing with, I'm just like, oh, this is an interesting beat that like if I'm still awake, like I'm going to turn over because I sleep on my stomach. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to turn over and watch this. I loved it. I thought it was great. Like it is easily my favorite comic book movie of the year, and it also made me go back and like I am now 10 issues into the John Byrne Fantastic Four run.
Well, there you go.
It was funny. Awesome. It's great.
It's funny though. One of my favorite things about the Fantastic Four movie was Pedro Pascal's Reed Richards. Like again, for the first time ever, I felt like somebody gave a shit. And not to say that the other people, but it's really hard for people not to think of Reed Richards as a dick. In fact, this week on the social media, I posted this, what I thought was a pretty hilarious moment from past Fantastic Four where Reed basically shoots Franklin in the face with a gun. Because I was just like, you know what? This actually happens in a comic book. Like he has to stop Franklin's powers, and the device he builds to stop Franklin's powers just happens to be gun-shaped, whatever, and he shoots him right in front of Sue. And so this causes them to almost get divorced, and she shacks up with Namor for a little while, and they only get back together because Franklin ends up blowing up a gigantic Ultron robot. Whatever. But somebody commented on our thing that they're like, that's my problem with the Fantastic Four movie, is that Reed Richards wasn't a dick. That like Pedro Pascal was too nice of a guy to be a Reed Richards. Like he should be a real jerk. And I'm like, no, Reed Richards really isn't a jerk. I feel like you have to understand that Reed Richards, kind of like, again, that scene where he's talking to Franklin and he's like, I don't really get people sometimes. He's like, I struggle with talking to people. I maybe struggle with friends. Like, again, things that nowadays we are more sensitive to. And I think that Pedro Pascal's interpretation of Reed actually fit that really well. That he was like, I got things going on. Like, I'm sorry that I sometimes have to think about these terrible things that might happen to my family, but it's because like I don't want them to happen is why I'm thinking about them.
It is interesting because I feel like this is the first superhero movie to really come out in like a post recognition of autism, right? Like and like Reed fits like the bill for like an autistic person where it's just like, oh yeah, I'm not the most sociable person, I'm constantly worrying about the future, I'm balancing all these other things. But like I haven't seen that discussion crop up about like I haven't seen like a single meme being like, oh, the autistic urge to do XYZ, and then with Reed's face like accompanying, Pedro Pascal's face. And so like I do think it's interesting that like that hasn't cropped up, at least like in the social media circles that I'm in. But like it feels ripe for having that kind of conversation. But like again, it hasn't come up. And like I'm with you. We're like, this is the most heartfelt, sincere Reed that I can remember in a minute. Like, they've done a really good job in the Fantastic Four comics in the past 6 years, I guess, like since they came back after Secret Wars, really, of making him less of a dick, and it really helps that like just Mark Millar is not writing him. That goes,
Oh
like,
yes,
that goes a very long way to making
Mark
Reed
can
not
make
come off like
anybody
a
a dick.
piece of shit. Yeah. But like the Dan Slott era, the Chip Zdarsky era, I guess, like in Marvel 2-in-1, when like I think they first came back, and now like the Ryan North era, like he just seems like a really good dad who's like doing his best. But like this movie, I think distilled it perfectly, where it's like, I'm going to stop trying to understand you from my perspective, and like I'm going to let you explain yourself to me. And like that feels like the right direction for Reed going in the future, is just like accepting the things that he can control, you know, letting go of the things that he can't, and just like understanding that like it's not up to me to make my kid understand me. Like I need to understand my kid, you know. And like that was another like chills moment, just like seeing like a good dad, where I'm just like, oh fuck, like when was the last time you saw that in a comic book movie?
Yeah, but this is the thing where it's, once again, it's just a little bit off for me. Like Reed is not emotionally aware enough to know that he's not emotionally aware. You know, like you didn't see him stumble through that in this movie, right? You always saw him being Pedro Pascal, you know, and it's just like Johnny being the super genius linguist. We're like, no, Reed is the guy that deciphers the language, and Johnny's the guy that knows how to take it and use it as an emotional.
That was one thing I didn't respond to that, but
that was
it
a little
like,
weird. Yeah.
No, but like it wasn't like when the Zodiac Killer letters came up, it wasn't like some fucking military CIA linguistics expert who cracked it. It was like
Some
a
housewife.
husband and a wife, who were like super good at puzzles, who cracked it. And so like they didn't have like I the thing I texted you was that like Johnny wasn't smart, but he was creative smart. Like he found like a new way to tackle, like he found a different solution to a problem that Reed didn't even recognize as a problem because he thought it was too inconsequential. And so the fact that it was just like that was his mechanics, because you're right, like he was always working on like the Fantastic Car, trying to get more torque or whatever the fuck the Fantastic Car uses out of it. But like this was him just like seeing like a Rubik's Cube and like figuring it out, not mathematically the way Reed would, but figuring it out like pattern what. And like I had no problem with that. Like I thought that was actually like a perfect use of Johnny Storm, just because it was an outside the box solution to an inside the box problem.
I'm wondering if maybe like the things that you guys are talking about how Reed is one way when he should be another way. I wonder if, like, logically, if you think about it, you could contribute it to the fact that this might be one of the downsides of having it not be an origin story, in that it's 4 years after the fact, and Reed may have just worked his way through all that shit by now. And
sure.
This is a whole new thing coming up for him, because, you know, one of the greatest dynamics that I like about the Fantastic Four stuff, and I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan, but I like the idea that Reed carries this massive guilt, and they get into that a little bit, but I like that he carries this guilt over what he did to his friends. In his mind, what happened to Ben is his fault, and in Ben's mind, what happened to him is Reed's fault. And they had this, they had to get through that, because, you know, those early issues of Fantastic Four, Reed is very aloof. Sue is just a damsel in distress character. You know, and Thing.
Johnny's all horned. Yeah, Johnny's all horned up.
Yeah, and Thing is angry. Thing
he's
is
the heavy.
Up.
He's the heavy. That was what he was originally supposed to be. I mean, again, the big guy. He's the heavy. Like he's.
Well,
like,
not only is he heavy, but he's miserable.
Right.
Like he is miserable. He thinks he's ugly. He thinks he's a hideous monster. Everybody around him thinks he's a hideous monster. Now, this Ben Grimm is the cute version of Ben Grimm that the kids love because he's been around for a while. And there's a Saturday morning cartoon, and there's all these other. So they get all of that angst shit is in the past, and this is just them dealing with a new problem.
To your point, Mikey, they do give you a Sue Storm, Sue Richards in this that is genuinely much more kind of take charge and from the get-go, and much more like willing to be like, all right, Reed, I understand you have these problems. If we're going to be married, like if we're going to be in a relate, like I'm going to help you through them. Like I am going to slowly but surely get you through every day and get you to a point where you're a much more functional individual.
And that's pissing off all the right people. Have you seen the online chatter about how pissed off some men are because that she's essentially the leader of the group? She really is.
Yeah.
They are so
And
pissed off
rightfully
about it.
I mean, she's the most powerful member for sure. And
She's a mom.
No.
Listen,
I don't follow those people on the internet.
no,
so
I mean
I've not seen
she's.
that yet.
I don't follow them either. They just pop up. But she's a mom, and I have a lady. There's a lady upstairs, and you have one upstairs, and you have one upstairs, and you have one, but no kids yet. But they are the toughest people in our families. Those women. So it makes perfect sense that Sue is the toughest member of, in my mind, the toughest member of the group.
So here's more bones of contention. I'm going to go back to Superman. And the plot of Superman was very oversimplified. It was good guys and bad guys. You know, there's clear good guys, there's clear bad guys. And even whenever good guys are acting bad, we know they're good guys at heart. And, you know, there wasn't a ton of nuance there. Right? Sure. But at the end of the day, it felt like a Superman story, and it gave you all the things you wanted out of a Superman story. The Fantastic Four, like the thing Marvel has always done better than DC is that nuance. It is the real world problems. It is the world outside your window aspects, right? But everything in the Fantastic Four was too quick and too neat and too easy. Like Sue Storm gives birth in space.
Yeah. And
like doesn't even need a towel.
Yeah.
You know,
that
like,
was the cleanest, biggest newborn baby I've ever seen in my life. Yeah.
There was and it wasn't just like one thing. It was thing after thing after thing, whether it's the Thing's beard, which is a big thing for me, or Johnny Storm, Master Linguist, or Sue Storm. You know, like there was no consequence to these things. And the person that like Mr. Fantastic was just Mr. like, oh, I'm going to be sensitive and understand that I can't solve all the problems. Like, what? That's not who you're supposed to be. You're Mr. Fantastic. You're supposed to be blind to the feelings of others and instead so focused on, well, no, this is the most logical solution. We have to go and, you know, take the baby and slingshot him around the earth and then plug him into this machine.
Why aren't you more like Spock? Yeah.
I would have loved a little bit about with Reed. I would have loved some kind of a little bit of a thing where somebody refers to him as Mr. Fantastic and he sort of voices the fact that he doesn't actually like being called that. Like because it's a stupid name, first of all. It really is.
It is.
And then secondly, that's a lot to be heaped onto somebody. So for him to maybe just be like, I wish they wouldn't, you know.
You turn invisible, so you shall be the invisible woman.
Right.
And you are the Human Torch, because you are on fire, so you'll be, and I will be Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, and they're all just like, oh yeah. You know, like I would love that because they don't really. I don't think. I mean, I have to watch it again, but I don't recall them actually ever being called by their superhero names.
No,
outside of the Thing, no.
Right? No.
Yeah.
No.
In the movie, yeah, I don't.
One of the most interesting things. This might be a complete side note to all that, but during the Al Ewing run of Immortal Hulk, which is an incredible run, which I recommend everybody should read at some point. The Hulk goes to the Fantastic Four when the Avengers are trying to hunt him down for, I don't know, fighting with them once again. And in that moment, the Avengers come to the Baxter Building or Fantastic Four Plaza or whatever they call it now. And they come in and they're like, hey, Reed, like, we need you to turn over the Hulk to us. And Reed's like, I don't know, like, Bruce is kind of messed up right now. And even things like, yeah, I don't think this is a good thing. And Al Ewing paints this picture that, like, the Fantastic Four will always be closer to the Hulk because they are also monsters. They are not the Avengers. They are the original Marvel monsters that just happen to be a team. There was a guy that's super stretched. There was a guy that caught on fire, a guy that was a big rock monster, and a girl that turned invisible like a ghost. Like they were monsters. And they will never be truly normal, even though they do these things that are so altruistic and above that, like everybody seems to view them as heroes. But at the baseline, people are still a little uncomfortable with them and being like,
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys. Like, you're not.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't that world though. This world, they're fully embraced in this world. Like they're
Right.
fully embraced and loved, and everybody loves them, and they're great. And they have.
But there was that moment, to Chad's point, though, where I thought that they could have pivoted when they came back and they're like, no, we're not going to give up our baby. I think it could have been a little bit of an interesting thing to be like.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sue gave a speech, and so now it's cool. Let's all go build those machines.
You guys are a bunch of monsters that don't refuse to give up your monster kid because we need to be saved. Like, it would have been.
Yeah, there's a lot of the other thing about this is for me, this would have been like a just because I really felt it was clunky. I felt like it was clunky in a lot of parts and things like that. I wanted to see more of the stuff that they cut out. It seemed more interesting to me. But the visual aspects of it are so good. Like it's so pretty. The retro futurism, even so far as like the Marvel logo in the beginning. Yeah. And the branding and everything is so like
Jay will be real mad at us if we don't mention that scene with the Silver Surfer surfing through the black hole.
Oh, that was sick. That was
super cool. That was super cool. Yeah, she was really good too. The only thing that I didn't like about her too, and this is also nitpicky, is that scene the scene that they had in her when she shows up and she says, "I herald your beginning. I herald your." Heralds don't say they're heralding. They don't say that. It was I know, but it just was it was
Does the Amazon guy say, "I have Amazon your package"?
Right.
And I shall Amazon again.
That was good.
No. So it was cool. She was cool. She looked cool. Her voice was cool. I get what they were doing. Her pause before she says Galactus, and the way she sort of casually says Galactus, almost like she's like, "This is very cool." But there's moments of like when Galactus says, "I must kiss the baby," I lost my shit. Like I was laughing. So like, I must see the baby. I must kiss the baby. It's like. That's so fucking dumb. Like I just felt like it.
Just off the top, there's a reel going around right now where basically somebody puts a Galactus head on Fat Bastard.
Yeah, get in my belly. Yeah,
where he's like, you can keep your money. I just want your baby.
Yeah, like there were just moments that just didn't land with me. But I felt like it needed some, but it has that other, Marvel movies have been doing that lately. Like Brave New World, like 3/4 of what you saw in the trailers wasn't even in the movie. They changed so much. Like they changed what the leader looked like. They changed, like they had the leader with this big head and everything. They filmed the whole movie with him looking like that. And then they went back and they're like, let's make it worse. And they made it worse, not that I minded, that movie was fine.
Yeah. Mikey, when you said Brave New World, I was like, what the hell is he talking about? I had forgotten all about that movie. It was so
like this isn't that. This is much better than that. And I enjoyed Brave New World just fine. This is much better. I will buy Fantastic Four. I liked it.
We need to get to a commercial break real fast. We will be right back. But while we were thinking about that, now the rating scale was 1 out of 4. What was it? 1 out of 4.
Cable knit sweaters.
Cable knit sweaters on the podcast. We're going to be right back with both Mikey Wood and George's cable knit sweating rating for the Fantastic Four First Steps. So stay tuned for more Last Comic Shop Talk right after this.
Hey fellas, looking to save money on your collectible supplies? Whether it's comics, cards, sports memorabilia, or miscellaneous pop culture goodies, make sure to use promo code LCSPOD to get 10% off your orders at bcwsupplies.com. Not only does it get you a discount on BCW's already low prices, but using LCS Pod at checkout is an amazing way to show support to the Last Comic Shop podcast, the most incredible comic book podcast on the airwaves. So if you are in need of collectible supplies, head out to bcwsupplies.com and use promo code LCSPOD today. That's promo code LCSPOD.
And I'm going back next week. I'm so excited to go back next week because I'm taking all my trivia money and I'm buying a Gen X collection of like issues 1 through 55 for 150. I'm so excited.
Does that get into the Terry Dodson? Nice.
All right.
Wait, shit! Did I say Gen X?
Gen X.
You're gonna be so mad. I meant
Generation
Gen
X?
13. No,
Or
I
Gen
meant Gen 13.
Oh,
So,
Gen
like,
13.
There
really
you go.
excited. I already have Gen X 1 through 75. So like I've already got that one. Don't worry.
All right.
Good one.
Gen 13. Yeah.
Well,
Generation X was great.
We are back.
Let's talk about Gen 13. They did that crossover with the 13th issue with the Bone and everybody else comes in.
Ethan's not on this episode, so we can't talk about that. Like, he could talk about that, Battle Chasers, Fathom. He was reading that at the time.
Oh, Fathom was fucking sick.
All for
See,
the wrong reasons.
Poor Ethan. Ethan. God bless Ethan and his terrible taste. But
I want to read Battle Chasers. That's on my
Bitch,
list.
I am
Battle
right
Chasers is
here. Like,
Battle Chasers was cool. But it only ran like what, 10 issues or something?
Yeah, it's
9
11 now.
issues.
They got more.
Yeah, like the new one just came out in the last.
Yeah, that was a
4
nice
years.
book. That was a nice
So we
book.
gave this Cable Knit Sweaters on the podcast. Again, go out to www.lastcomicshoppodcast.com. You can listen to our full review, including a review of Fantastic Four 48, 49, and 50, the original Stan and Jack issues with me and J.A. and Chad, as well as an awesome opening. I just was so pleased with how that came out with our rendition of the beginning of issue 49 of the Fantastic Four. But on that episode, we also gave Cable Knit Sweaters and we did our review. But Mikey, George, weren't on this. So again, we're going to give you 1 out of 4 Cable Knit Sweaters for Fantastic Four First Steps. We're going to go ahead and start off with Mikey. So 1 out of 4, how many are you giving it, sir?
I honestly it's a good 3. It's a good 3. Like I said, I got a lot of complaints about it, but as a whole, I was entertained. I would
as a whole.
You as a whole. That's my Italian coming out. But I was entertained by it. I thought it was pretty. It had some really interesting moments. There's just shit that I thought I would have done differently. I think it needed another passover on the script, and I think it needed to be longer. Actually, I wanted to see more of it. It felt too fast, but I still like it, and I will purchase it. And hopefully, the Blu-ray will have a lot of back matter, although they seem to have stopped doing that, and I hate that. But anyway, yeah.
We lost something when we lost the director's commentary.
That's what I was gonna say, man. I've been ripping my entire DVD collection recently, and like I rip it as an MKV, so it's got everything, but that's like just such a big file. So I've started doing MP4s where like I had like 3 copies of Wedding Crashers when I ripped that DVD. I'm like, I got the theatrical, I have the uncorked, and I have the uncorked with Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson commentary. I'm like, commentaries are the best, man. This is the best. This was proto podcast. This was incredible.
The best DVD commentary is Weird Al on UHF. It's awesome.
I thought you were going to say Armageddon with shit-faced Ben Affleck.
I've never seen that. I've seen Armageddon.
It's incredible.
But I meant to say real quickly, and I apologize, but before we were mentioning Superman and James Gunn and Super James Gunn, who directed Fantastic Four?
Martin.
Right.
Yeah.
Shackleton.
Nobody knows because they all look the same. It doesn't matter who directed a Marvel. Marvel directed the movie. That's who directed it. Every Marvel movie looks the same except for Eternals, which is the one that everybody hates.
It was bad.
It was interesting.
It was overly
but
long.
It didn't fit the mold. This one visually is outside of the if it took place in our modern world instead of it being the retro, it would have been just like every single other except for like James Gunn, who does the same shit. He's a one-trick pony, and the trick is great at this point.
All right.
Like,
I do like that trick.
Yeah, Suicide Squad was just another Guardians of the Galaxy movie, but with different characters.
The Suicide Squad.
Oh, I'm sorry, the Suicide Squad.
There you go.
And Superman was Superman was dick and fart jokes away from being another Suicide. Like it's but at least it's recognizable, and we can say the Marvel movies are all the same, and there's a problem there. Like even when Kenneth Branagh directed the original Thor, did anybody know that? Like, does it look any different?
Yes, obviously, because it sounded like a goddamn Shakespeare play the entire time.
It did. There were times in which it was
obviously
overly...
And it was good.
Those were the parts people didn't like.
Yeah.
The good parts.
And the Russo brothers. The Russo brothers directed those movies, and they ended up being good. So I'm glad that they're coming back.
I don't know, because the Electric State is not great. I don't know if you've seen it.
Well,
but Community was fun.
Yes.
Yeah, the paintball episodes.
Let's get.
Anyway, I'm sorry, George. I'm sorry.
How many cable link sweaters? What is it? Cable
knit sweaters.
Which I still think is the dumbest thing for anybody to wear.
I don't know where the reference comes from. Is that from what Reed is wearing?
They were all wearing them.
Oh,
they were all wearing these cable knit sweaters instead of I don't know, just pants. Like I don't know what the hell.
And hold on, before George is allowed to start, just in case Jay watches this. Jay, buddy, sorry about your Pirates score. You were so excited.
Shh, quiet. All right, George, go on. How many?
Also, JA, in case you're watching this, sorry they're dunking all over your scoring system. I thought the cable knit sweaters was a great call.
It works for me as well.
They were handsome.
Listen,
they were handsome sweaters.
Sucking up to JA, he ain't even here. Go on.
Hey man, unlike some people, JA shows up when I schedule a podcast recording. Oh, hey, Mikey. I didn't see you there. Sorry.
I was getting my teeth taken out of my mouth. Okay.
You probably should have fucking told me that a week before when I asked you for
Let's
free.
move on, gentlemen.
It was bumped up. There's a whole thing. Anyway, go.
I give it 3.75. Like, honestly, like for me, movies, I operate on a binary scale where it's like, is it worth your time or is it not worth your time? So in that regard, I want to say 4, but just for the sake of nuance, like, I think this is as good of a first movie out for a franchise as possible, or at least as much as I expect. Am I soft on it because I love Fantastic Four? And like, I don't even like, I'm reading the Byrne run for the first time. I've read half of the Kirby Lee era. So like, I'm not the most familiar with ancient texts of the Fantastic Four, but like, just based on like, I came in during like the J. Michael Straczynski run. I went back and read like the Mark Waid, Mike Waring. I wasn't being a dick. I was just
go on.
The Dead Sea Scrolls of Fantastic Four. I'm sorry.
That's it. Go on.
I thought this did a fantastic job, pardon the pun, of just presenting an all one and done universe for me to just get excited about. So I am head over heels for this movie. 3.75 out of 4.
I hope they go back to it. Like I really do. I hope to see more in that world, but I don't think we will. I mean, I think they're gonna fuck it all up. I think the Secret Wars or whatever it is, Doomsday, whichever one comes first, I think it's gonna screw the whole thing up. It's gonna bring them into now. It's gonna. I hope it doesn't. I hope instead of them bringing the Fantastic Four into now, I hope they make it I think the Marvel characters work really great in a 1960s setting. And I think I would love to see that. I would love to see something more in that Earth, whatever it was. What Earth number was it? I can't remember.
828.
828 was, wow, that's funny. That was the exchange on my phone number for the longest time when I was a kid. But yeah, I would love to see more on Earth 828. Are there other heroes on Earth 828? It'd be great.
I don't give a shit about that. I don't need it. Like I've got the Fantastic Four. That's like why I bought the ticket, is because they're on the marquee.
Yeah.
And like all the problems that like I heard you guys talk about, like Jay was just like. Then I started really thinking about like when he eats, like does he process it as raw? I'm like, dude, like who gives a shit about that? Like it's like wild that your brain went there. And all I can think about is like that Grant Morrison quote where it's just like, who pumps the tires for the bat? Like, who gives a shit who pumps the tires? Like, it's a cartoon. Like, recognize that. And so like that's why like the beard thing, like that didn't even begin to bother me, how quickly he grew a rock beard on his face. Like, do you hear yourself? Respectfully, Chad.
Tell Grant Morrison the answer was Harold, the little hunchback guy who lived in the Batcave.
Cool. And he appeared in how many issues? And like, is he still pumping the air in the tires today?
Oh yeah,
No, he's dead now.
Oh,
No,
is
he's
he?
super dead.
That's bad.
Yeah, read
Yeah.
a fucking book, Andy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn, son.
Don't
No,
put
no.
the Doom mask back on. It's
Not
really
you,
scary. Don't
I'm
put it
saying-
back on. Don't put it back on.
I mean, no. He means read a good book.
Wait, is that the
Actually,
Jeff
I
Lemire
don't know
Moon Knight?
what run of Moon Knight.
Go
is that?
on. I'm reading. I didn't put the Doom mask back on.
No, don't. It's really scary when you do it because like you wear it very well.
And you would be a despot. You would. I think if you lost everything, you would actually be Doctor
Good
Doom.
gravy. All right, so you're saying 3.75.
375, yeah.
All right.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
But like
I-
Rotten Tomatoes, it's certified fresh from me. Like
It's
like
fine.
that's all that matters. Is like is it
And
worth
and,
watching?
and
Yes or no?
I
Yes,
gave it a
absolutely.
good score.
Yeah.
I wasn't like Chad. Chad by the end of the review was like, I don't even know if I should be giving this a 3. I think this is more like a 1.75.
I was shocked you gave it a 3. It
Yeah,
seemed like
no,
you were
I
just,
feel bad about it. If I were to record it again, it would be lower.
Yeah, you were such a stick in the mud the entire podcast.
I wanted it to be so much better, George. I wanted it to be so much better.
But you said this. You owned up to it. Is it the movie's fault or is it your like? Is
Yeah,
it
no,
a
it's my
combina- I think
expectations.
I think it's a healthy combination of the two. I think you had high expectations that it could never meet, and at the same time there were elements that could have been better anyway. So I think that's
Dude, I enjoyed the bejesus out of Happy Gilmore 2.
so did I.
Naked
Yeah, man.
Gun. I almost
the
died
fir-
because I had a gummy bear at the wrong time. A real gummy bear, not like one
Yeah.
of the good ones. But I was eating a gummy bear and I almost choked and died from Naked Gun 2. It does not take a lot for me to really enjoy a movie.
Happy Gilmore 2 is better than the first one. I think.
Shut
I think it's
your
just more of
fucking
the
mouth,
same.
but
I have
That's
no
what
love.
makes it
I have
great.
no love for
I'm-
the first one. I
I'm,
don't get.
I'm a bigger fan of Billy Madison.
I don't get Adam Sandler. It doesn't.
Billy
land
Madison
with
was my-
me. Like I
Well,
don't.
I mean, to be honest, that sounds like a fucking personal problem. Like,
It is.
Like,
It is a
I
personal
don't know what to tell you. Like,
Stop looking at me, Swan. No,
Yeah,
that
I don't. Yeah, I don't.
sorry.
I like the stand up thing where he's the goat and that's fun.
Goat? Yeah, Goat Man or
the
whatever.
talking
In the
goat.
outfield.
The talking goat. Yeah, that's funny.
This-
That made me laugh.
Andy,
but,
this could be our milk. Yeah.
This could be ow. If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis.
I think
Oh
I know.
my
This,
god, that's the grossest thing I ever heard.
I know this will get me in
No,
trouble.
wait.
because I know this will get me eye rolls or something like that. I think that I prefer Man of Steel visually over the new Superman movie, but I like the new Superman movie more than Man of Steel. I like them both. Honestly, I like them both. I do. I like them both very much. But I think the one is visually more interesting because but this one the other one looked more like a cartoon.
There's a style to Man of Steel. I'll give you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's whether people jive with it or not, that's fine. I think the difference is that Man of Steel, like Schneider's movies, are more sort of like Wagner, like I'd say Wagnerian, but I don't have T. Wagnerian, like operas, like they're more
Like
epic.
Nightcrawler?
No, like they're more like
Yeah,
epic.
Kurt Vonnegut. Yeah.
No, the
I
guy
get it.
recommended-
No.
I think it's more operatic.
Operatic.
Yeah, whereas the other one's just like straight up comic. book,
Dun,
which is
dun,
also
dun,
great,
dun,
beautiful.
dun,
I don't-
dun,
you know,
dun,
I wanted.
dun, 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 dun.
No, I get it.
I look forward to more Guy Gardner.
I just don't understand how you couldn't think. So you think that Man of Steel is visually more interesting
yes, I think it's more beautiful. I think it's literally beautiful
with
visually.
like rivers of like antimatter and like Guy Gardner like flipping tanks with a big middle.
No, it was
finger.
great. That was great.
Like
too. It was
that's not
awesome.
visually interesting. Like
No, it was. It wasn't as pretty though. It wasn't. As
It wasn't as artful
It wasn't
as it was.
Yeah.
James Gunn was clanging the toys together, which is more my aesthetic
I do
as
like
opposed to
Man of
Zack
Steel,
Snyder.
playing in toys.
Man of
together.
Steel is lush and the colors are very deep and very. It looks like an oil painting, and the other one looks like a comic book. So they're
Yeah.
both.
I will say to JA's point when he was mentioning about how he enjoyed the Fantastic Four's in rendition of space.
Yeah.
And he said that space looked more epic
Yeah.
in the Fantastic Four movie than it looked like even in Guardians of the Galaxy. Like Guardians of the Galaxy just seemed lived in. but sometimes you don't want that from space. You want like the vastness of outer space, which is something that the Fantastic Four did really well. And I agree. I would rather have like a real empty outer space, because I'm guarantee for the most part, even in a place with a bunch of aliens, space is pretty vast and there's pretty much just a lot of empty stuff.
It is interesting that when they're being sucked into the whatever's going on with Galactus and the vortex and all that other stuff, and she's having the baby, she kicks her pants off, and all of a sudden Ben's not flying that ship anymore. Ben's like, "What?" He's like,
boom.
Let me see it. No, but like,
Yeah, let the guy with the rock hands be the first one to touch the baby. Come on,
right? Now, is he rock
Oh
or
my
is he
god!
like? What does he feel like? Is he rock or does he feel like is he rock or does he
He's gotta
feel like
sand those down.
like an armadillo? Does he feel like an armadillo?
No, it's like if you were rubbing, like if you walked up against a brick house and you were like, look, let me give you a brick house.
Sue turning just her belly invisible so that Reed can see the baby was beautiful.
That was cool.
So lovely. That was just a lovely
Vanessa
scene.
Kirby
That
was
baby though was 3 months
lovely.
old. but like
that Vanessa Kirby was just lovely.
she's great.
She's
I think she's probably the best one out of all of them in the movie.
She sure has a thing for Pedro Pascal too, though. If
Yeah.
you've seen any of the interviews.
I have. Well, everybody has a thing for Pedro Pascal. I have a thing for Pedro Pascal. Are you kidding
Very
me?
handsome and charming, except in Wonder Woman.
He's this incredibly charming, sexually ambiguous human being. Like he's just like this wonderful pixie of talent. He's amazing. That guy. Like the there's a lot to love in that movie. I think I wanted more to love.
All right. Well, we've got to take one more quick commercial break. We will be right back with the final thoughts on for this last comic shop. So maybe some new comic book stuff, maybe some talk about Absolute Batman, which is the episode coming up next week. So stay tuned right after this commercial break.
Hey fellas, looking to save money on your collectible supplies? Whether it's comics, cards, sports memorabilia, or miscellaneous pop culture goodies, make sure to use promo code LCSPOD to get 10% off your orders at bcwsupplies.com. Not only does it get you a discount on BCW's already low prices, but using LCS Pod at checkout is an amazing way to show support to the Last Comic Shop podcast, the most incredible comic book podcast on the airwaves. So if you are in need of collectible supplies, head out to bcwsupplies.com and use promo code LCSPOD today. That's promo code LCSPOD.
To some little place, and he was actually in a hardware store. So he was there for like, and it was like a very like he obviously looked like he wasn't in the mood to not. He didn't look like he was pissed off. It looked like he was
at a hardware store.
Like
Stephen
King needed some WD-40.
Yeah, it looked like
exactly.
like he was buying things to fix something, and he was shopping, and he wasn't there to sign autographs. So we was just like, "Pleasure meeting you," and went on our way.
Yeah,
but we just were passing through anyway, my friends and I. But
and so, if you're wondering what we were talking about again, Mikey Wood was regaling us with a story about meeting Stephen King in a hardware store. Any case, some other stories that we're hoping to regale you with are the first 6 issues of Batman, Meatball Batman. That's right, Absolute Batman, as we call here at the Last Comic Shop. That's going to be the episode that's going to be coming out next Tuesday, or this upcoming Tuesday. So make sure that you're tuning in. Real quickly, initial thoughts before we get to that episode. Absolute Batman, George.
I was really excited because Justice League International Book 2 just hit in stock trades. I was going to do that and Book 1, and I went to add Book 2 to my shopping cart, and then I went to add Book 1, and Book 1 is sold out. So that's why I was doing like the dead face.
No.
Absolute Batman. Like, I understand all the Scott Snyder hype now. Like, I really didn't like the new 52 Batman whatsoever. I thought it was, frankly, tired. Like, it felt like someone's idea of cool and edgy from 1995, but they were doing it in 2000 2012 whenever the New 52 came out. So I didn't get it, and that was like a huge part of the reason why I stopped buying comics for a few years was New 52 and Fear Itself, like the Marvel event.
Mm.
And I tried to dip back in during Original Sin. I'm like, no, like they still haven't learned their lesson. And so I took another, like I didn't buy comics basically from the end of 2012 until 2016. Like I just took like a cool 4 years off. Man, Absolute Batman fucking rips. This book is so good. And like I understand the way people were talking about Scott Snyder now. And like the Nick Dragotta art is just incredible. And like the fact that it feels like a comic, it doesn't feel like it's going for any kind of realism, but like it's still very like based on real life, like just the idea of like corporations, and like it almost feels like Batman Begins, where it's like, oh, the bad guys actually won, and now we're starting from scratch with this setup. It's incredible, man. Like I'm still like always an issue or two behind, just because it's from my old shop in San Francisco that I have to like call in and order over the phone, and then they mail it out like once a month. But like I just wrapped up like the Mr. Freeze arc, and I think the first issue after that. This book is bonkers. This book is so good. And like I don't know what my favorite Absolute book is, because whichever one I'm reading is my favorite Absolute book. Like except for Green Lantern, respectfully. That one I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But like Absolute Wonder Woman, Absolute Superman, Absolute Batman, and like even Absolute Flash is probably like the most excited. It helps that like I don't really like, I think it's Cy Spurrier writing the Flash book right now. I'm not really digging that, and like it feels like this arc has been going on for 10 fucking years with Eclipso. No, man, like all those books, whenever I have one in my hand, I'm like, this is the best of comics is happening right now in this issue. And then I read the next one, I'm like, no, the best of comics is happening in Wonder Woman. No, the best of comics is happening in Superman. It's all incredible, but like Batman's probably the best one. Like it's just such a powerful, awesome book, and it does a great job of showcasing what comics do best. And I love it. I'm really looking forward to your episode.
Cool. Mikey, some thoughts on Absolute Batman, since you're not going to be on this week's episode either.
Oh no, man. Yeah, I really love that book. I like you said, and you know, I think I've read Schneider's run when he was doing Batman, with Court of Owls and everything like that. And it's okay. Yeah, it's pretty good, you know, it's enjoyable. I dig it. This is like, you know, the thing that the Absolute books are doing that I really appreciate is that they are genuinely fresh takes on these characters without it not being the character at all. The closest one, I mean, like Superman is very near to not being Superman at all, but it's still, but it is though. It is, you know, and I like the body horror stuff. I like that Bane is just this grotesque, like blah, like huge, over, like every villain. Like, that Mr. Freeze is this ganky albino freak thing. Like it's almost a horror book, really. Like with Batman in it, yeah. And the artwork reminds me of latter day Grendel books that Wagner was doing, that, you know, in a lot of ways, just, you know, but not being derivative of it, just kind of like, you know, so yeah, I'm really, and the first 6 issues are, I think it actually kicks in even better after those first 6. The first 6 issues are really, really great. It's got a great hook. After that, it just gets really like, I think Wonder Woman is still my favorite out of all of them.
Yeah.
Just, you know, because it's mythology. It's amazing. I don't like, but I'm sure it'll be great. I don't like that they're going to cross over. I don't want them to. I want them to be their own things. And I worry about what they're doing with this whole DC KO, which is the dumbest friggin' name of anything. But I'm sure it's going to be fine too. But I'm worried that they're going to intermix it and screw everything up and but you know, yeah.
Okay.
I hate this is probably gonna sound simplistic, I'm really sorry, but like compared to Marvel Ultimate Comics, like how do we feel about things? Because like I don't understand how Absolute Wonder Woman and Absolute Superman and Absolute, like I don't understand how those take place in the same world. I really don't, because like just like the level of priorities feels so different between all 3 of them. Whereas like the Ultimates, I will give them that like while they feel really disconnected, they make sense in the same world. Like Ultimate X-Men is obviously like the most off doing its own shit of those books, but like Ultimate Wolverine makes sense with the Ultimates, which makes sense with Ultimate Spider-Man in a way that the Absolute books don't. But like I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You know, like they're all really enjoyable books, so like I don't really care, but like they feel less cohesive that way.
I will say that my favorite of the ultimate books is Ultimate Spider-Man, and to be blunt, I could have felt like that could have been a little bit more self-contained. To be honest, like part of me, like with everything else that's going on in the Maker's universe, I'm kind of like, I'm not really here for that. I'm really here to see this interesting take on Peter Parker with kids and Mary Jane, and you know, his and Uncle Ben being alive, and you know, teaming up with J. Jonah Jameson. And,
it's the best, man. It's like Martin Sheen and Leo
and bringing back
awesome.
You know, having Harry and Gwen married, and like all these kind of interesting plays on some of the relationships that we already know. Like that's what I'm there for. I'm like actually not even there for like when Peter puts on the costume most of the time. I'm like, I care about the characters. Like I just want the soap opera stuff. Chad, you were.
Well, I was going to say, because we did the Ultimate Universe, that first miniseries, and then the one
Invasion.
shot that came,
yeah.
Ultimate Invasion, yeah, and Ultimate Universe was the one shot that came after it. And I think I mentioned when we did that show, I didn't really care about that story until I read the first issue of Ultimate Spider-Man, and it gave me that hook to be like, oh, now I'll care about this Maker story arc. As opposed to the Absolute Universe in DC, where it's more of a thematic connection than it seems to be a storyline connection right now, where it's just you're taking these heroes and you're taking away their advantages. I mean, you're making Batman the son of teachers, for crying out loud. How more disadvantageous can it be to go from billionaires to teachers? Anyway, says the teacher. But yeah, so you have the thematic connection, and I'm with you guys. I don't know how that's all going to tie in together. Whereas with the Ultimate Universe, I've seen from the get-go, and it took me a little bit to care about it, but like you could see that intent was there. You could see eventually Marvel's going to screw it up and bring them all together, and you hope that it's a good enough story in the process. And it's one of those things where Jonathan Hickman, Krakoa era aside, has bought enough goodwill in my mind that I'll stick around and see it, but it's with gritted teeth and like, oh, I hope it's gonna be good, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
It's a Hickman thing, so I want to hear your thoughts on Absolute and Ultimate first before I rip into Chad.
I was just gonna simply say, like, the problem with both the Ultimates and the Absolute Universe is eventually they're going to be broken or weighed down by their own continuity, right? If you expound this another 100 issues in either of these universes, you're going to build up something that you're going to be like, yeah, like all the originality, all the uniqueness of this particular universe has now gone by the wayside, because like the original Ultimate Universe with Spider-Man, like it becomes bogged down with its own continuity, and you're just like, well, this is just like anything else. I feel like maybe that's why the Ultimate Universe is going to be ending their issues at 25 and letting it go on ad nauseum. Also, I just think, I just actually don't understand that, because like I like an Amazing Spider-Man book and they're going to take it off the market, which is pissing me off. But regardless, I feel like the great thing about the Ultimate, the Absolute Universe right now is the fact that it's so fresh. It's so new and it's so different. I will wonder what this will look like 3 years from now if this process continues. Will we still care about it? Probably not.
Let me step in front of George real fast. Just because the thing I love about the Absolute books right now, they are the best of comic books. And to compare that to the New 52, you had Scott Snyder doing the best of the New 52 books, which were like a lot of pseudo Jim Lee clones and like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like he was doing the best of a brand.
It was
of
it was a
comics.
cover song of the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. And there were other New 52 books that I really enjoyed, and that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
Green
So I don't
Arrow is
think it's
good.
all
Wonder
bad.
Woman is good. Action
Yeah.
Comics is good. Yeah, there was good stuff there.
There were some standouts, but for the most part, I agree with you, George, where it felt like a cover band, whereas Absolute does feel fresh
Yeah.
at a time where Marvel is not producing a lot of freshness. You know, at a time where comics in general feel like they've been stagnating a little bit. Even the indies, you know, you're seeing a lot of the same themes pop up again, and you know, everybody's trying to be the next Saga. You know, oh, but now they're tiny and there's bugs, or and it's just Absolute was like just the punch in the face that comics needed.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and
No,
I
you're
love
right.
the fact it's one issue a month. Like it's not over.
That's a great point. It feels like the first time I heard Rage Against the Machine. Like that's what Absolute Batman feels like when I'm reading it, you know.
There you go.
It-
All right, now
it's
hit me with
incredible.
Hickman.
I'm gonna hit two things. I'm also gonna hit Andy off his comfy perch that he's on, and I think
Ooh.
Mikey might actually agree with me. First up, Hickman stuff, like Krakoa aside, I thought the problem with like what I read was that like he wanted to wrap up the story, like he wanted to do like a self-contained story, and like all the other creators were like, no, we're having too much fun, we're not ready to wrap up the story, and like that's what made it drag on. But Hickman was like,
Yeah,
no, this was a 4-year story, and like we're at year 3, and then everyone's like, no, we got to keep going because it's doing so well, and like that's what I thought the issue was. I'm like, no, this should have an ending, and then like he wasn't even a part of the ending. It was the problem.
go ahead, Andy.
That was the same problem with Secret Wars too. Everybody was having fun for those 5 months when they used to do all the battle worlds. Remember how the excitement around, like, holy shit, it's like the X-Men 92 universe again. Like, holy shit, Planet Hulk. Holy shit, there's like
Red
Weird
Thor
World.
core, yeah.
Like everybody was excited. But then it's like, we only have a limited window here because we're going to wrap up Secret Wars and there's going to be no more battle worlds. So tell your stories. And even though you're having fun, it's going away. So I do agree that's.
See, but the problem was he broke the X-Men in such a way, like he poured the toothpaste out of the tube, and then unless they go through with his ending, like you just messed up the X-Men. They've been living on Sex Island and they're immortal, and
And they sell the best cancer drugs, yeah.
yeah, like it was just too far gone.
All right, that was one point. The other point I had, I'm actually going to push back on the whole continuity problem that you levied against like the original Ultimate Universe, Andy. I actually don't think that was the problem with the Ultimate Comics, because like Spider-Man went to issue 134 before it rebooted, I think, like 133, somewhere around there. Fantastic Four went to 60. Ultimates had a couple of volumes, so like it basically went 30 issues, all things told. Fantastic Four 60, X-Men was 100. Like, I actually don't think that was the problem, because I remember when Robert Kirkman came on to Ultimate X-Men, he introduced Cable, and like that was actually like a super exciting, like it felt super new and fresh again, because that was actually like a future Wolverine was Ultimate Cable, and it's like that was like mind-blowing to 15-year-old George in a way that felt like the earlier books. I don't think that was the problem with the Ultimate books. I think the problem was that the Marvel Universe learned too many lessons from the Ultimate Universe. Like Civil War is a book that shouldn't have happened in the 616. That is a fucking Ultimate story. And so the Marvel Universe just started taking ideas, lessons, notions from the Ultimate Universe, and then that made the Ultimate Universe obsolete. And that's why it got interesting again with Ultimatum, which is a dog shit story. Like truly like one of the worst event comics I've ever read was Ultimatum. But like, man, the stuff that came out after that was super good. And like the John Hickman Ultimates book fucking rocked when that came out. You know, Ultimate Fallout was great. That was what gave us Miles Morales, and like that was what changed things, was when they were like, oh shit, we did the thing where we just became the Marvel Universe, and then the Marvel Universe became us, but people cared more because they were here first. And then once they got different again, that's when it got interesting again. And then the Ultimate Galactus, Cataclysm, all this Secret Wars, all that stuff happened. But like this is doing that again, where it's just like, oh, all the best stuff is happening in the Ultimate Universe. The 616 is going to start cribbing their test,
Oh,
and then it's
yeah.
all of a sudden going to be irrelevant again.
Yeah, but the 616 is where the staying power is. Like,
Yeah.
the ultimates, the absolutes, you can't stay young and hot forever.
No.
And so eventually, like, the 616s learn the tricks to be like, oh,
Yeah.
we'll get these
I-
youngsters out of here.
I equate it to like the major and the minor leagues. I hate to
Yeah.
say it. It's
No,
like
it's a
eventually
farm
it's
league.
like
Yeah.
we're gonna pull you up to the majors and screw the fact that you were playing for Podunk.
Yeah.
team
Miles
somewhere.
Genki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Come on up.
it's like how the Pirates are a farm league for the Yankees. Right?
Exactly.
Exactly. We were all used to it. Yeah. It
And
is
it's like
what
how
it
the
is.
Red Sox are a farm league for the Dodgers. Yeah, it's exactly like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, before Mikey's a little bit bored, so we're gonna do two.
I'm not
last-
bored. I'm just listening. I just never read any of this stuff.
We're gonna do two things, bro, before we wrap up. So we're gonna give first off, we're gonna give Mikey an opportunity to give us a recommendation or something that he's been reading recently that he might be interested in, and then Chad's got, I think, a surprise for all of us, maybe. So we'll save that for last. But Mikey,
Yeah.
before we go,
Yeah.
give us a comic book or something you've been doing or reading or something that you would recommend to our listeners. Something new, fresh, or something.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Something
doing,
old, good.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of
Something
I'm doing a-
borrowed, something blue. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing a lot of catch up right now. I'm reading a lot of, and you guys know me the way I am with reading orders and trying to read things in order of story to the point where it makes me crazy. So I'm doing a lot of catching up with the Justice League International or Justice League Unlimited that's going on right now, and the subsequent sort of miniseries that tie into it, like The Question All Along the Watchtower and Challengers of the Unknown and the Adam Project and how it all fits into the big conversation. And the Challengers of the Unknown and the Adam Project, and that they're all really good. All Along the Watchtower I wasn't crazy about because I just don't like that version of The Question. It's just not for me.
I just don't like that author very much.
Yeah, I can't even remember who it was. Who was that? Was
Segura?
Oh, something like that. Yeah. It just
Alex
wasn't.
Segura, yeah.
It started out better than it ended. Like it started out
1000%.
super interesting, and then it turned into a superhero slugfest. But the other two books, Adam Project and Challengers of the Unknown, are actually really, really entertaining and really fun, and they tie in to the whole, which leads to the We Are Tomorrow crossover with World's Finest, which is still one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
It's just
Same.
really, really, really interesting and really, really cool. I haven't figured out the definitive order yet because a lot of this stuff happens concurrently to each other, but they reference a lot of what's going on. But it's just been really good. As a DC guy, it's just been super cool.
Yeah, I read the first, I think, 3 issues of Challenges of the Unknown. I always think that the Challenges of Known is something I should get more into.
Mm-hmm.
They're like the proto Fantastic Four, when Jack Kirby was over there. But like,
There's Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale.
yeah.
Yeah.
Last question I have for you, Mikey. I know that we're going to be bringing you on for an episode in the upcoming October month for our Halloween. We're already going to bring George back for I think it's Weapon X, because I consider that pretty much a horror story. But you were going to pick a DC book for us. Did you happen to come up with an idea yet?
Yeah, I did. I think I want us to read the 1996, is it? House of Mystery, House of
Secrets?
No, House of Mystery.
House
No,
of Mystery?
no, I mean
With Cain and Abel?
no. Oh, damn it, you put me on the spot.
I got really nervous. You said 1996. I'm like, is he making them read Day of Judgment like that? God damn.
No. House of Secrets. Yeah, I'm sorry. The House of Secrets 1996 series.
Okay.
The Vertigo series from 1996. Steven Siegel, Teddy Christensen, that run. I don't know how many issues I'm gonna. I think maybe the first 2 story arcs. I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's what what I'm going to go with. Yeah,
All right.
I tossed it around a lot, but I think
I've
that's
been
it.
very interested in reading a lot of those DC horror books over the years. House of
Yeah.
Secrets, House of Mystery. So I'm excited. Good pick. Good
Cool.
pick, sir. Looking forward to that in a couple months when we get to October's books. But as we finish out this week's yes.
Sorry, listener comment. Man, I got so mad at you, Mikey, listening to like back issues of Last Comic Shop because
Why?
I saw you guys did like a Shade the Changing Man, and I got so excited, and then I realized it wasn't the one I thought it was going to be.
That
I
was my-
I felt so swindled with that episode.
That's
That wasn't me.
that was me.
Oh,
I
what?
did pick that one, but
I'm sorry. It was obscure DC, so I just assumed it was you.
oh no,
I'm
it
sorry.
was. I love that series, and it's because of the Steve Ditko art. But yeah, no, there's a couple people that were like, "Isn't this a series that ran in the '90s and was
Yeah,
different?"
is
I'm
this
like,
the Pete Milligan like
I'm like, no,
That was a
Changed
great.
comics-
That book was so
changed
good.
comics book? Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of comics, as we're going to finish off, we've got a fantastic treat for all of our comic shop listeners, as well as Chad, because he's been sitting with bated breath over a blind bag, right, Chad?
Oh yeah. So I am a sucker notoriously for a good gimmick. And so I don't even know if it's a good gimmick, but it's a gimmick. There's a place out there on the internet called Whatnot that does auctions of comic books and things of that nature. They do lots of collectible stuff. But they have partnered with Marvel Comics to produce wax packs of comic books. So it's 3 books. They're pricier
Beautiful.
than I care to admit. Of variant covers for various themes. So this one is the Fantastic Four. And I actually had the lady from the auction send me the little card that tells you what you can get inside.
Ooh.
So let me read you the options here. So there are 20 variants. There are 5 variants per cover for a total of 20 variants. You can get signed covers and historically low print runs, including artist signed covers. But there are 5 potential comic books in here. There's a Fantastic Four #1 with a Walt Simonson cover. There's a Fantastic Four 51 with a Salvador LaRocca cover. A Fantastic Four 57 with a Mark Bagley cover. And a Fantastic Four 209 with a Ron Lim cover. So there's 4 issues. There's 5 different options, though.
Ooh.
One is the trade dress, where you have, the logo and your standard cover. Those are $3,000 per cover. Then there's the Virgin, where you get the cover itself with no lettering on top. So those are the Virgins. Those are limited to $2,000. Then you get into the foils. The silver foil is $1,000 per cover. The prism foil is $200 per cover. The blue foil is $100 per cover. And then you get the artist signed covers, which are a lot more limited. There's 100 per cover of the artist signed versions. There are 25 covers with sketched black and white covers, and there's one Corey Smith sketches. There's 4 of those in existence.
Wow.
But
So
you get
right
this
now,
pack.
it's like Schrodinger's cat. Like, we don't know what's in this thing, right? Like,
No,
and you only have one, right?
it costs more than I care to admit. Well, I'll be 1,000% honest. So I ordered this one, and then like 2 days later, I was just like fishing around to see when my stuff was going to ship and that sort of thing. And I saw another auction that it was cheaper, so I was like, all right, I'll try it for one. And I won. I was very excited. But those actually, I know what's inside those. But here, we're gonna try this out. We're gonna see what's in the bag. I have not
What's in
opened
the
this. You can
bag?
see it's sealed.
What's in the bag? Opening
I'm
up the bag.
I'm proud of you for not going 7 with that. Like, what's in the bag?
What's in the bag? What's in the
I'm
bag?
trying to open this but not look.
I know. Oh, that's tough.
I
I
don't want
am curious. I would not open it, by the way. I told Chad that I it's like when those we did a video where they came up with the Unstoppable Doom Patrol covers where you were
Yeah, the scratchy lotto ticket cover.
and I refused to scratch any of mine off because I'm like, it can be anything under here. It's the possibilities are endless. So I was just gonna
So doing my best to not look. I hope I'm not damaging my comics.
Man, I went to the comic book store today and I saw so many old packs of Pokemon cards. Like I remember ripping like a fiend back in 1998, 1999, whenever the game came out, and they were like $1.99 a pack, and like they were just selling in the comic book store for like $350 a pack now because like they're unopened. You have no idea what you're gonna get. I'm like, yeah, I fucked up. I shouldn't have opened it. I should have just held on to all of them and then retired.
I think it looks a little foily.
Don't say anything. I haven't looked. I'm not watching the video
maybe
either.
it was just the light. I don't know. Maybe I caught a little bit of the light.
Quit,
I don't know.
quit talking. Oh, there's a cord there. All right, so
I thought it was it's a blue. It's blue. It's blue.
I've eliminated the bag. Hold on. I'm gonna go under the table here, and we're gonna go one at a time. All right, the first one. Ta-da! This is your
pretty.
standard trade dress. This is Fantastic Four 209. It's the first appearance of Herbie with this Ron Lim cover.
Ooh.
So
Love Ron Lim.
Yeah, can't go wrong with Ron Lim. Herbie, star of the movie. This is $3,000 per cover, so this is nice, but not the super specialist of the versions. Let's see. Then there's a little sheet of foily paper. And then option number 2. Ooh, uh-oh. This is the Virgin trade dress. And this is the Mark Bagley cover. So what issue was that? This is Fantastic Four 57 with Dr. Doom, Sue Storm, and the Inhumans by Stan and Jack on the inside.
I went to a prom with somebody with a Virgin trade dress.
Yeah.
It wasn't a
Okay, and so here's the last one.
Sorry, I think this was no.
Ooh,
It is
that's
foil. I knew it was foil. It's
There
foiling.
you go. So this is the silver foil edition of Fantastic Four 51. The first
Ooh.
appearance of the Negative Zone. Is that This Man, This Monster?
First appearance of the Negative Zone.
51,
Yes.
I think is. Yeah.
51,
Yeah, This Man, This Monster.
Oh my gosh.
Are these
Not
are
only
these,
do you
I'm sorry. Are these all like new printings made just for this?
Yes.
Okay.
So they were exclusively in that pack. So there are 1,000 other silver foils out there in the world.
Ooh.
wow.
So not too shabby. My
No,
other
not-
pack, I actually pulled one of the Prism covers.
Ooh.
So I got the Fantastic Four one with the Prism cover, which are 200 per pack. So
See, I'm glad I was able to pull that was going to be one of those foil covers just from the light.
shiny, but
That's gorgeous, Chad.
they are tons of fun. I'm excited, like with the Fantastic Four, the Whatnot packs. Like I don't know, it's like gambling. It's good times. Get all those fun gambly feelings. And now I have these 3 variant covers, and I don't really care about variant covers. Why did I buy this stuff? I don't know. It's for the fun of opening these packs. Good times.
All right.
I'm sorry. I forgot. I want to jump in real quick. I forgot to show you what I pulled out of my box today.
Uh-oh.
What's in the box?
Every issue of Black Lightning.
Yay!
Is that the original Tony Isabella?
Yeah. 1 and 2, 1977? 77.
7?
And while we're
7?
sharing, I did.
All
I showed this.
11 issues.
I showed this on our Blue Sky and our webs. I was able to get all the issues of Danger Street by Tom
Nice.
King and Jorge Funes for a buck a piece, including a variant copy of issue 6 with Doc Shaner art on the cover. All for a buck a piece. Make sure that you're checking out our review of Danger Street in our evergreen archives over at www.lastcomicshoppodcast.com. It's a terrific place where we hope that you rate, review, and subscribe so that you not only miss episodes of our podcast, but also it can tell you about our YouTube so you can check out more episodes of Shop Talk as we decide to do them, which, I mean, I'm not going to promise it's going to be all the time. If George had his way, it would be constantly.
This is my favorite stuff. Like my favorite part of your episodes, like the other, not this week's episode, but last week's episode, when it was just like you guys talking about the Eisners.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mikey, you were there. Like that's my favorite thing you guys do is when you do like a contemporary talk before launching into a book.
The loosey goosey.
You're so good at it. So like it makes me so happy whenever you do it.
Oh, you're the best, George.
Well, thank you so much, George. Thank you so much, Mikey, for joining us for Shop Talk. Chad, as always, thank you for being my wonderful co-host. And again, I'm the host with most, Andy Larson, and we hope that you tune in to more episodes of The Last Comic Shop. As I mentioned, upcoming this Tuesday will be our brand new episode all about Absolute Batman first 6 issues, as well as another blind ranking. Ethan's going to be joining us for blind ranks again. So that's a great segment that we hope that you enjoy. Also, make sure that you're checking out the episode that's currently ongoing. It is our Fantastic Four movie review, as well as review of the first of the original Coming of Galactus from issues 48, 49, and 50 of the world's greatest comic magazine. Until next time, when we hope that you will all join us, again, Andy Larson, Chad Smith, Mikey Wood, George from Short Box Summary. Stay safe, stay reading comic books, and good night, everybody.
Go to bed. It's real late.
It's so late.
Good night.
Hey fellas, looking to save money on your collectible supplies? Whether it's comics, cards, sports memorabilia, or miscellaneous pop culture goodies, make sure to use promo code LCSPOD to get 10% off your orders at bcwsupplies.com. Not only does it get you a discount on BCW's already low prices, but using LCS Pod at checkout is an amazing way to show support to the Last Comic Shop podcast, the most incredible comic book podcast on the airwaves. So if you are in need of collectible supplies, head out to bcwsupplies.com and use promo code LCSPOD today. That's promo code LCSPOD